So I'm still on the long drive back from collecting the car from the LPG specialist. It's about a 70-mile drive. I'm probably about halfway, but I just can't get over how well the car's driving and how it's just so perfect. And yeah, apart from the intermittent speedometer there, but that's a little gremlin. I'll come back to that. It's not a problem. There's I think it's called a transcender or a transponder. I'm not sure, but it attaches to the gearbox. It's electrical. It's not an old-fashioned cable type. Oh, he's jumped in. It's back on again, but it's on. It's off. But not to worry. It's something I'll come to in a few weeks. But the car does need a huge amount doing to it. Nothing emergency. You know, it's more niggles like that. The little things. One of the windows at the back's not working. It's got an electric sunroof. That's not working. I can hear it clicking. There's the solenoid clicking. It's trying to work, but it doesn't open. What else? And the air conditioning I thought it wasn't working, but it is working. It's just not cold. So I think it needs regassing. But honestly, these are all things that I'm perfectly happy with, and I'll address them over the weeks. And it might take me 6 months or more to get this car the way I want it, but it's got much more critical jobs to be done. I can't trust that the hoses are good. Yeah, who knows? I can go through the paperwork, and I've got all of the paperwork going back for this car, but I don't think they've been changed in about 10 years. So I've got to set an order, and they'll come fairly soon. Complete new Jubilee clamps, new hoses. I'll be replacing the fuel hoses and all the clamps. What else? The filter in the automatic transmission, I'll change that. New filter. I'm not going to try and clean the old one. I'm just going to put a brand new one in there. But at the same time, I'll put brand new gaskets in, as well as obviously fresh fluid. Exactly the same with the rear axle. I'll open the final drive, the differential, and clean that, scrape all the gaskets off, brand new gaskets, brand new oil, just things like that, really. You know, to really go through it. Brake fluid, I'll do the same. Just it's sometimes in this car's been driven properly, and I did change the oil about 2 weeks ago, but realistically I'll probably only leave that in for 1,000 miles before I flush it and change it again. Really give it a good couple of changes before I try to do any real mileage. But this thing, honestly, they drive so well. They're just utterly unique old Jaguars. I can't explain why I love them so much. I've been addicted to them for about 30 years, maybe more, 32 years. I first saw these in the early 70s. I was about 7 years old, and I just decided I was having one. The first time I ever saw one, that's going to be my car. But I've pretty much had one since I was 19. I'm 51 now, and I'm never ever tired of them. They're just, to me, they're just so close to perfect. The way they look, the way they sound, the way they feel, the way they smell, everything about them. There's very little I would ever change. I'm very happy with this car, and I was very happy with the first one I ever had at 19 years old. But it was merely an old Jaguar then, which was a lovely car for a 19-year-old to drive, but it wasn't the classic that it's become today. Obviously they've become very rare on the roads, and considerably more valuable than the days when I was tearing around like a madman at 19 and not really looking after them. They weren't very much, didn't cost very much. If I broke it, I just changed it, just bought another one for less than the cost of the repairs would be. But those days are over now. I've got to look after this one, because if I break it, I won't be getting another. Or, if anything gets damaged, I'm going to be in a position that I'll have to sort of do the work. I won't be able to buy another car for cheaper than it will be to repair it. But the LPG is just running fantastically well. You can't tell the difference on sound or power. It runs so well, but the running is the fuel consumption will be similar. You might get a slightly increased fuel consumption in miles per gallon, beg your pardon. You get a slightly more efficient burn with LPG. It's a little less volatile than petrol, but it's half the price of petrol, and the mileage I do on such a thirsty car, it really will make an enormous difference. But I do think I'll be keeping this car a long time. I can't see me ever really wanting to get rid of this. It's the best one I've ever had. It's the most structurally sound. It's definitely mechanically the most sort of robust and original, and it has all the history. So it's going to be a huge challenge to keep this thing running and reliable. And there is a few areas of the bodywork I'll be coming to in the next few weeks before the winter. We're starting to, just its age. It's 36, 37 years old, and if it goes a couple of winters, it will be in a bit of a state. So I'm going to address that, and I'll do it all on camera. You'll get to see everything, and of course, rust proofing and wax oiling. That'll go absolutely everywhere. But I'll do some more videos with the car stationary. I really do want to show you some close-ups of the new system, of how it's fitted and how it works, and we'll compare it with the old one that's been pulled out. I bought the car with the LPG system not working and hoped that we'd be able to get it running, but it wasn't economically viable. It was going to cost too much to repair the old system, and it wasn't very well fitted. I won't say properly, because it was properly fitted, it was just crudely fitted. I don't resent the extra money I've spent. It was an unplanned expense, but it's definitely perfect, and so pleased I've bitten the bullet and gone for it. But, yeah, there'll be a lot of videos coming out, because this is going to be my everyday car going forward. And I do a vast mileage, and it's not the most sensible everyday car, but I love the things, and I'm more than happy to put up with the extra cost and just the commitment, the sort of liability that such a thing presents. It's a liability if you're not going to use it very much. Using it the way I'm going to use it, this is going to be it's going to be a challenge. It'll be a massive commitment going forward as a maintenance situation, and there'll be inevitable things that will crop up that are going to bite me in the bum. You don't buy an old thing like this and not expect a little bit of pain. I've already been bitten in the arse, and I've only just owned it. It's cost £1,650 to have the LPG upgraded to this standard, which I'm happy with, and the car's definitely worth it. But to be truthful with you, when I bought the car, I wasn't planning that sort of expenditure. That wasn't something I'd thought about. I might have done it 6 months later when I'd sort of got used to the car and gone through it, but I really wasn't looking at spending that sort of money on it straight away. But that's the reality of running a beast like this. They do come up and bite you in the bum. They do have costly habits, but they give me such a pleasure, and I've always loved them, and it's just such a wonderful place to be. Makes me so very happy, and makes me calm. I'm not a drinker or a smoker, and we all blow off somewhere, and driving one of these old things, it really does keep me happy. Those that know me well will know that I'm a bit of a freak for shoes. If those of you who know me well know about Bespoke Addict, and that's it's another Instagram account, Bespoke Addict. That's all my shoes, and that appears to be my main interest in life, shoes and suits. But if I'm absolutely honest, I do prefer classic Jaguars. I prefer classic Jaguars even more than bespoke shoes. So it puts into perspective how much I enjoy and adore these old things. So this should be staying. I can't see of any reason to get rid of this car long term. But of course, everything that happens and I do with it will be on film or video, or at least photograph, and we'll keep these coming. There'll be a lot more. I think I've had the car a month, but this is the first day where I can actually properly use it as my daily driver. It wasn't possible before without the MOT, and certainly I didn't want to be running it on petrol, 15 miles to a gallon. It's spending that sort of money on fuel. I would never have the money for maintenance. So half price fuel costs. There should be plenty of money left over for maintenance as well. But let's turn this video off. I'll try not to make another video on this drive back. I'm enjoying the drive so much. I can't resist making the videos. It's the next long drive I'll do will be in about 3 or 4 days time when I return to Brighton. That's a 4-hour drive, about 200 miles. So that sort of mileage really will do the car good, to put some proper miles on it at motorway speeds, at correct operating temperatures with clean oils. These cars thrive on that sort of journey. Stop-start driving, or very, very rarely using them, just use them occasionally at the weekend for 10 miles, really doesn't do them any good. But the mileage I'm doing, motorway mileage going forward, I'm sure is going to see an extraordinarily high mileage to this engine. But let me close off here, and we'll speak in the next video.